welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. I'm your Messiah, David Moore. I'm your Pharaoh. What's up? All right, so let's see. I was just watching the Morgue video. It's called Morgue Official, but he was talking about the demiurge. He's always talking about the demiurge. And to me, the demiurge is kind of like relinquished from Yu-Gi-Oh! He's this one-eyed monster that just sucks up everything and then uses it against his opponents. And usually they use that monster Pegasus used that monster in a way to be like, hey, Yugi, you're that one-eyed monster that everybody... Okay, let's dive into some of this because I like this idea, okay? So the demiurge is obviously this power that rules over us. You have Amun-Ra, which is going to be right here. Number 8, so Amon is number 7, and then number 8 is Barbatos. So that's Amun-Ra, because Amun, the spirit from the Ars Goetia, is number 7, but he rules over a certain amount of legions. I forgot exactly which ones, but it makes Raum. So Amon Raum, Amun-Ra, right? So, but Amun-Ra is seen, he's a Marquise. So that means he's a moon, he's a reflection. So he's reflecting the Pharaoh. So no matter how far away you go away from the Pharaoh's gonna rule over you no matter what and bring you back. Or he can that's the point I guess I'm trying to go at. Is like, all right, you have God, he has a living form. So I'm your Messiah, I have a living form, but I also have a big oversoul. And it's that ram, right? So it's like, all that religions worship that ram because it's a very important thing to say, like, this person's innocent, that they have a pure heart. But also, if you look at the Marquise, Amon, he's seen as like a wolf with a bird, a raven's head almost. So it's letting you know he's like hiding behind sheep's clothing in a sense, but not really, because he uses those ravens to see what's going on, and he sends out his pack. So this is kind of like the Pharaoh's court and his army and military, because you have the Pharaoh here with his Amet, with his Wajet, his serpent, right? So that's God and the devil, and that's letting you know they're both the same thing. So it's like God has his form, and then, well, his invisible form, right? And then he has his serpent, and he uses that serpent to push, through the world, introduce sin, and like get people to start making more of the world. I think I wanted to mention also a part in the Bible where they say a man shouldn't lay with another man, and I think I kind of figured that out. I think what it's saying is that if a man sleeps with another man, they're not going to be able to have a baby, and that's it. Because you would think, okay, when you have a baby, you're living because you're passing on to the next level, right? You're creating more. But if you were to be a man and a man, you're not going to be able to create more that way. But it's not saying it's a bad thing. It's just letting you know, like, you're not going to get pregnant. So that's just some info, so you can stop thinking that, like, there's something wrong with that, because there isn't. And, the way they describe it might be different, because, remember, it's an oral language, and eventually over time we grow hardened, our hearts harden, and we, like, become skeptical and cynical and angry, and we, find ways to put ourselves down instead of elevating ourselves. So yeah, we have the Pharaoh right here. Obviously, that's my character. I'm the Pharaoh. And in Jewish mythology, I'll be the king, right? Because Solomon was a Pharaoh, because he used this system. So that lets you know this is a Jewish and an Egyptian system. So God created the heaven and the earth, whatever. He sent out Moses to go do what he needed to do. And then, and then you have these two. So you have the Pharaoh as Baal, and you have the Jewish king as Baal, okay? So the Pharaoh and the Jewish king are the same thing. Technically, the King of England would be the Jewish king. But since he's not really the Messiah, and the Pope would be also as well the Jewish king, right? So they're both, they're supposed to be the Pharaoh, but there's like so many, so it's like that's a corruption of the system. So that lets you know those aren't real, that's not really the real king, and that's not the real Pope. So I'm supposed to have that title, right? Because I'm the high priest, I'm the king. That's my title. But they separated it, and then that's how they control us, right? So that way you don't get a real king. You don't get the real Messiah. You just get what they give you. And that's good for all the bad people that know that they're going to go to hell, because it prevents them from going to hell so quickly, and we have to suffer with them instead of living in a good kingdom with me. So we have Thoth and Anubis, right? Because Thoth is Visago and Anubis is Samigena. And Thoth is a prince, or Visago is a prince. So Visago and Thoth are the same. And the prince is ruled by water, right? Because we see here Jupiter. Which was Jupiter? This one's Jupiter, okay? So Jupiter